Comrade Show with Comrade Lante Oriake. This is the Comrade Show.
Yes, my people. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the globe. This is your darling program, The Comrade and Friends, your Sunday tonic. Apologies, last week we were not here, but we are back again. And I want to let you know that I'm not just alone. I am in the company of the CNC of the Comrade Show, no other but Comrade Lante Oriake. And of course, today with us, we have a very special guest because there's an important program happening, taking place, scheduled to hold in the city of London, I dare say, in the next 20 days. And today, the CEO of that great event is here today to talk to us about it. Of course, the Comrade Show is politics, and politics is the Comrade Show. We are still keeping an eye on the tribunal. And the question before us today, which I'll be talking about at some point, is: will Tinubu be the first president to be thrown out by the courts? Only time indeed will tell. With that, I say, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Comrade Lante, can you say hello to our viewers, please? We can't get your volume, Comrade Lante.
Thank you so very much, Comrade Pharmacist Austin Eremiran. Nigerians across the world, greetings to you all. It is a Comrade Show, the Comrade and Friends, the Sunday tonic, like many of you know. We are back again, and this is going to be quite interesting because right now the whole world is focused on Nigeria. And the question is, will Tinubu be the first president to be thrown out by the courts in Nigeria? Well, we'll see. We're going to be looking into all of these. But meanwhile, like Austin, Pharmacist said, we have a special guest in the house. Over to you, Pharmacist Austin Eremiran.
Thank you so much, Comrade Lante. You are looking ever so radiant. Fine boy. You look like Benzema. No wonder you support Real Madrid. Anyway, friends of the show, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are welcome once again to the Comrade Show, the Comrade and Friends, your Sunday tonic. You recall a few weeks ago, we informed us that something great is happening in the city of London. On the 29th of July, 2023, by the grace of God, inshallah, Ebony Ambassador UK will be doing something great. What they've done for so many years, I understand by the grace of God, this will be the 9th edition running. And no better person to talk about that but the Chief Executive Officer, our own lady, a lady that is everywhere all at the same time. Very enigmatic, very conscientious, and very determined. She started this journey long time ago, and you agree with me that Ebony Ambassador UK is now a household name. Running programs and working with less privileged across the world, with a focus in United Kingdom and some in Nigeria, and also working with many local councils here. This lady is a dynamite. And I want to beg you, wherever you are, please, she's going to give us lots of information today. If you have not got your ticket, what are you waiting for? Madam Irene Eribo will throw more light on that. And it's taking place in central London. No other but the prestigious Marriott Hotel, Marble Arch, London. I present to you the CEO of Ebony Ambassador UK. No other but our own friend and sister, Madam Irene Eribo. Please say hello to our people before we go to the nitty-gritty.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching us from. I want to welcome you again to this program, and it's a pleasure to be here as well. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Madam Irene. You are looking very good. I believe, Comrade Lante, you agree with me that this lady has been up and down. And first time in history, Comrade Show is partnering with the Ebony Ambassador UK to showcase this year's edition of Miss Ebony. Comrade Lante, just before we go back to Irene to begin to tell us what the expectations are, who the guests are, and what we are going to see, can you just put your mouth in this very unique event happening in 20 days' time?
Thank you very much, all pharmacists, comrade pharmacists. To be honest, like I've said this, time and again, that I feel very honored that we are part of this program. Irene has, established herself as, a woman of many parts, and this program itself, it takes you to get a bit close to this program to understand that this program is more about the optics. For more than, in fact, since the beginning of this year, Irene has used this program to build human beings, to build youth, to empower people, to train people. So there's been loads and loads and loads of activities taking place, women empowerment, child empowerment, youth empowerment. In the UK, people getting trained with different skills under this program, all culminating, to a climax, on the day, of the award, to honor some of the people that have benefited, from the program. So at the end of the day, what the public may see may be, that grand finale, that grand celebration that's going to take place on the 29th, in central London. But what has been happening is there's been a lot happening, all along. You understand? So I think that the idea behind the program itself, it's honestly, highly commendable. It's honestly very humbling, and to be honest with you, I feel very, very proud that we are partnering, where we are collaborating with a very worthy, venture. Honored to be part of this program, to be honest.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Komilante. For our viewers, I know Madam Irene is a very busy lady, but we struggle to see if we can get 10 minutes of her today. I understand that immediately after this program, she's got a flight to catch. Irene, I know you are busy. You are everywhere. You combine everything, even motherhood, to do all this. Can you tell us about Saturday, the 29th of July, 2023, Marble Arch, Marriott Hotel? What are we expecting? Where can we get the tickets? Who are the guests? Madam Irene, the floor is yours.
Thank you for that question. Once again, we want to use this opportunity to invite the general public to a spectacular event taking place on the 29th of July, which is the 8th anniversary of Miss Ebony Ambassador Creativity Competition and Award Ceremony. I love what Comrade Boss have just said about what we have put into this day, or what we've done prior to the grand finale. The grand finale is a glamorous event where we all come all dressed or posh to mingle and also to associate with the high and the mighty. But before that day, there's a lot that has been done with the contestants. As we all know, it's a creativity competition. Some people will call it a beauty pageant, but for me, I call it a creativity competition. And this competition is open to African youths who have been empowered through many skills, from hair braiding to sewing, beading, makeup, rhinestone embellishment, and knitting. And the 29th of July is a day where we celebrate all their achievements. You'll be amazed in all these ladies are going to display on the day. And we're also crowning it up with an award ceremony. I'll be proud to say a lot of dignitaries from outside the country have confirmed their attendance. Dignitaries like Linda Ikeji, I guess we all know her. Mama G, popularly known Mama G of the Nollywood industry, she'll be there as well. And by the grace of God, we might also have first ladies. I will not mention which first lady, but definitely if you want to associate with people that matters in the community, Ebony Ambassador UK 2023 is the best place to be. I'm not pushing it much or singing my praise because I'm the organizer of the event, but looking at what we've done in the past, if you want to mingle with people, connect with the right people, as they said, your network is your net worth. Come to Miss Ebony UK 2023 and you'll be glad you did. Thank you again for inviting me to your show, and I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much, Irene. I just want to say that don't try to be too modest. At some point, you have to blow your trumpet. You've done a lot. I've followed you very very, very vigorously for the last few weeks. And what I see, I'm very impressed because all this require real commitment. So you are not blowing your trumpet. I think you are saying it the way it is. But something I want to say as well, apart from the beauty pageant and all that will be coming, if I have to come with my lady on that day, what are my expectations? What are the food and all those stuff? Talk about that, man.
Yeah, it is worth talking about. Thank you for that question.
Yeah.
There's going to be 3-course meal. So you're going to get your starter, your main course, and your dessert. That's by the way. You're going to listen to lovely music. There's going to be comedy. There's fashion show as well. And also to get to see the girls display the 3 categories of the contest, from showcasing their country to showing the talent that they've learned, and also the current affair bit of the contest, just to show how intelligent these girls are. As I said, this contest is not a beauty competition, it's a creativity competition. So the day is going to be full with laughter. What else would I put? High networking connects. So yeah, I would encourage everyone to come to the event. Like, I can't really say everything here, but as I said, we will not want to let the cat out of the bag, like everything. But coming to the event, you'll be glad you did.
Thank you so much, Madam Eribo. I remember discussing with you a few weeks ago. You did mention that even the Ebony Ambassador, apart from being a creative show and award show, it has also helped to create families. Many single men have met their single ladies there as well. And you know that in Europe, there's a very big challenge as well with meeting your future partner. So if you are there and you haven't got somebody, like Irene said, it's time to mingle, tango, twingo, do anything. Get your ticket and you never know. Comilante, I know you are smiling away. You must have a question for our dear lady.
I mean, to be honest with you, every moment with Irene on this particular journey, it's always rewarding. And the expectations are quite high. There is no doubt about it, as always. So Irene, I don't really have a question per se, but to really commend her. You know, sometimes it's not when somebody is not present that you commend the person. I think the vision behind this idea, I'm not too sure, you know, this was actually why it started. You know, because the CEO of Facebook did say that, you know, a big, you know, vision starts very small, you know, and when you begin to grow in the vision, it begins to expand, and you begin to see, you know, get other strands into it and all of that, you know. So Irene, the question I actually want to ask, if I would ask a question, is what's your motivation? What's you've been doing this for the past 8 years? As a matter of fact, we're already planning big for the 10th edition of this program. You know, you're already looking at how big you want to bring the entire world together. You understand what I'm saying? You've been on this journey for the past 8 years. What's your motivation, and how can you assess your success rate so far?
I think I would tie my motivation to my passion to empower young people. Growing up in Nigeria, we pick up skills while growing up. You learn how to braid, you learn how to sew. But coming down to the UK, it's a different ball game. Everybody thinks that white collar job is the main thing. And I felt like I am a beneficiary of having skills where I have to pay my fee. I mean, my undergraduate and postgraduate fee from the money gained from hair braiding. So I think that has always been the motivation, to teach people different ways of making money, to be independent when it comes to finance. And also looking back to people that have empowered, that have ended up being an entrepreneur, boss of themselves, is something that kept me going. So to me, I would say I didn't come this far to come this far. Empowerment is something I sleep with, wake with, live with, and I'm very, very passionate about skills empowerment within our community. So I think that's the drive behind it. To the success is just looking at young people that have built their self-esteem, looking at people that cannot really speak before, but now I've given them the voice to even speak for others. So that has always kept me going. And I'm also very, very honored to be the owner of this concept, or the initiator of this concept. So yeah, that has actually been what has kept me going. I hope I've answered your question.
Yeah, thank you so much, Madam Irene. Every day we learn about you. I've just learned something again. You are not just Madam, I'm Ebony Ambassador UK. I now Christian you, Madam Empowerment. What else will it be to live in this world and not empower people? I know you are very busy. Your PA has just sent a message that you need to go now. But just before we let you go, I think we're going to bring you back again to talk more about this before the 29th of July. I just want to ask our very last question before we let you go. People are asking, where can they get the ticket from? How can they get it? Can you just shed more light on that before we let you go?
Thank you so much. Yeah, the tickets. The ticket is on Eventbrite. And let me tip this in quickly. Tap Tap Send money transfer app is sponsoring this event. If you download their app and send at least £1 or more to Nigeria using our promo code Miss Ebony as a word, you get £30 off your ticket. So the ticket to this event is £80. If you download the Tap Tap Send app and send at least £1 to Nigeria using Miss Ebony as a promo code, you get the ticket for £50. Tap Tap will be paying £30 off your ticket. And if you feel that, oh, I don't have the time to download the app, you can just go straight to Eventbrite, type in Ebony Ambassador Grand Finale, and it comes out and you can buy your ticket directly. So once again, truly, I need to run. Thank you so much for inviting me to your platform. And we are in it together. So I want to thank you.
Before Irene runs, I mean, it's probably, worthwhile to mention that personalities like the governor of Edo State, hopefully incoming President Peter Obi, they are already, part of this program and expected to be part of this program. Hopefully, personalities like Professor Pat Tomi will be on ground. And so I just want to put that things out there so that people can understand that this is really, really a serious business. And and there are first ladies too that have confirmed to be present, and so I think it's going to be beautiful. People should just try and satisfy that curiosity by being present. Let's come and dine with. That's why Ari was saying, look, you want to dine with, the people you want to dine with. Pick your ticket, buy your ticket, and come to this event. And if you are part of the Comrade Show, don't get confused. Inbox us if you want a ticket. We can direct you on how to get a ticket and all of that. But we're going to have another program where we'll, discuss this matter a lot more. It's 20 days away. Of course, a lot is already happening. I just want to put that out there. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, Comrade Lante, for that. We have 2 weeks in between. Likely going to be next Sunday or the Sunday after the 23rd of July. We will definitely feature Irene to come and talk to us again. I know she's very busy. She needs to go now. But Irene, thank you so much for what you do. I look forward to July 23rd. I will be there. Comrade Lante will be there. A large crew of the Comrade Show team will be there. And if you want to see us live, come on. Get your ticket.
Let's go to
Marriott Marble Hotel. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much, Irene.
As I said earlier. Thank you.
Absolutely. We got tour right there, right now, right away. Thank you so much.
Mercy.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, that has been Irene Eribo. And just to advise all our viewers, please, especially those that live in Europe, precisely United Kingdom, England, and London, please let's keep a date. Let's make our own progress. Irene is a true daughter of Nigeria and a true daughter of the Edo land. Well, having said that, politics is Comrade Show. Comrade Show is indeed politics. We know what is happening right now in Nigeria. But obedience and lovers of democracy, lovers of freedom, have kept faith. And we know that at the end of it all, victory or what has happened or what happened on the day of elections will actually come to fall. We don't want to be subdued at this moment, but we know that the tribunal is they are rounding up now. In the weeks coming, it will be all of them presenting their final what's the legal term now?
I think I don't know. Is it their final statement or
their final statement? There will be some arguments, and then we will hear what they have to say. No matter which way it goes, if it's for Peter Obi, we know that the federal government at the moment or the APC will go to the Supreme Court. And we know that if it's against us, we will definitely also go to the Supreme Court. So we still have at least another, after the judgment is made, we have another 2 months to go to Supreme Court, and that will bring everything to a final conclusion. But today in the Comrade Show, we want to hear from you. We are not trying to talk about the case in court, but the big question is, like we posed earlier on, will Tinubu be the first president to be thrown out by the courts? Many of you are jittering. Do you see that happening? I'm hopeful. I don't know if it's going to happen, but what I know will happen is that justice indeed will prevail. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Comrade Lamte, I know you want to say something, or you have a video to play to that effect before we begin to take calls.
I think, honestly, I mean, first of all, but let me quickly express gratitude, to so many Nigerians. A lot of, in fact, my inbox is full. A lot of people have been, calling me, asking me my whereabouts. Wanted to know why I have not been very frequent, with broadcasts and stuff like that. I mean, there's been comments here and there. Where have you been? Where have you been? People have, inbox. Some have even called and all of that. I want to let Nigerians know that I'm still here. I'm still here. At this time, it's just that a large chunk of my time is being, seriously taken by, my commitment to work because of, the current demand. But we're still finding time, in between to release the update. And apart from that, because this case is in court, there are a lot of things we don't want to preempt because every day, there are news stories here and there. And so we want to look at the issues and periodically talk about them, which is why today, on the Comrade and Friends, we'll talk about these issues. But on this particular subject, will Tinubu be the first president to be thrown out by the court? We just don't want to, like I said, we don't just want to speak from our expectations alone. We want to speak on the basis of all that has transpired, because like Comrade Pharmacy said, the case in court it's near conclusion right now. We are just waiting for the concluding statements and arguments by the lawyers of the various parts and all of that, and before we wait for judgment. But there is, this story on the subject matter that sort of gives a breakdown, analysis of all that has been happening and all of that. So we are going to be speaking from that. So, pharmacists, let us, take excerpt of this particular video and discuss, on these points raised.
The week started with the Independent National Electoral Commission being able to call one witness in the petition of the PDP and Atiku Abubakar. The witness, Dr. Lawrence Bayode, is an ICT expert who adopts his deposition before the court. Led in evidence in chief by the INEC counsel Abubakar Mahmood, the witness identifies a cloud trail log while making reference to the glitches during upload of results. The log is, however, admitted as evidence before the court amid objections by the PDP. Bayode also confirms that results transmitted electronically or manually would not affect integrity of election. He also confirms that the commission does not have any electronic collation system for the election results, and that a few days to the election, the commission had published in the Tribune newspaper that it would not transmit results electronically. Under cross-examination by the petitioner's counsel, Chris Uche, the witness admits that not all results were uploaded before the declaration of Bola Tinubu as president. He also tells the court that no formal report was sent to Amazon Web Services by the commission on the issues it claimed to have encountered. A copy of the final results of the European Union Election Observation Mission was also tendered by the petitioners, and the witness was made to read out a part of the report, which highlighted that only 31% of the results formerly uploaded on IREF server were mathematically correct.
Comrade pharmacists, I think we should discuss from here. There are two things here so far. We're going to play this video a bit further, but two things here caught my attention. That the results, the presidential election results, they were declared when only 31%, of the results had been confirmed and uploaded and all of that. I don't know what you want to say concerning that, honestly.
Yeah, thank you so much, Comrade Lamte. You see, it's very pathetic. And that's why the Labour Party presidential candidate is questioning indeed the process. Because the process that were laid down actually were not followed. And I remember in one of our episodes when we were discussing the Adamawa debacle, when the INEC person then announced Binani to be winner, and they were hue and cry. I did say, what's the difference from what that man did and what Yakubu actually done? In my view, there is no difference because the process was not allowed to go to completion. And
Yeah.
Comrade is about 4 months now since our elections. Our electoral umpire, INEC, can still not explain, even to the courts, what is internet glitch. So the process indeed is very worrisome. And that testimony by the guy that appeared in court has also further buttressed the point. There was, I believe INEC had a very good plan, but somewhere along the line, they derailed from their plan. Let's hope that the court will do the needful and not judge this issue based on technicality. And I think that's what we are really waiting for. To be frank, they never expected this, but I think it will be a very happy task when the judges pass their judgment and we'll see reasons for why judgment was actually made. You can see that INEC was even in a difficult situation. They only brought one person and they said they were just happy with it. That video really has thrown more light to the shenanigans that happened. The process, in my view, was not followed.
Another interesting twist to this, just recently in the final weeks of arguments, the European Union released what I would call their own verdict, from their observation of the elections and every other thing. Now, that has created a lot of talk here and there. Interestingly, the document of the European Union was accepted in exhibit by the court in this case. I don't know what you think of that, because the European Union did not give credit to the elections. As a matter of fact, INEC was hugely indicted. The election, according to the European Union, was highly compromised. And as a matter of fact, INEC was indicted to the extent that INEC needed not to have declared the results. You understand the picture of what I'm saying now? If, as a matter of fact, one would argue that the position of the European Union on the election is the same position that the what's it called, Peter B, legal team is holding, is the same position that Atiku Abubakar is holding. The only person or the only side that appear to be holding a contrary opinion is INEC and probably the APC. And yet it's so, for me, it's shocking that when it was time for INEC and the APC to defend their own case, INEC only came up with just one witness, and APC actually closed their case without presenting, a witness, so to speak. I don't know how do you see all of this playing out? Now we are going into the final judgment.
Yeah, thank you so much, Comilante. I think it's really laughable. I live in the United Kingdom, but I'm not a fan of the European Union. I'm not a fan of the European Union. I don't think they are in a better position to give us any lessons. I think they are also part of our problems as well. I just wanted to put that disclaimer down so that we all know. But again, there is nothing that the European Union said that me and you, Comilante, did not know. There is nothing new that the European Union said that other people that watch our elections very closely, Serap and many others, have not said, including Yaga Africa. There is nothing new that the European Union said that is not in the lips of even the common man. It's only gained prominence now because it is the European Union. I don't believe that any man can control any man that is not part of the house. We need to put our hearts together. Before we know, we'll be even more laughing stock. So when the presidential spokesperson for the current president lambasted in very strong terms the report of the European Union, I was somewhat dumbfounded. Having said that the European Union should not put their mouth in our issues, how can I then say that again when they gave us monies running into millions to be part of the elections? So invariably, we call them in. We cannot say they don't have any say now. And on a very final note, what is said is very true, is new. They didn't hide anything. Everybody has said that before. So I think overall, it was a very comprehensive report coming out from the European Union. I think it even came out a bit too late. But this is obvious, Comrade. I'm not a lawyer, but I think maybe this will make me to consider a degree in law. I'm waiting seriously. I'm waiting seriously to see what the result will be and what will be the reason for and against whatever judgment is put forward by the judges. But having said that, I must commend the European Union for speaking truth to power. But we don't need to take lessons from them. We need to do our things very well. Have we done it well? The answer is obviously no.
I think honestly, I like to put it out there that it does not matter what we feel about the European Union. You understand what I'm saying? What has played out here is that European Union has indicted INEC, indicted in Nigeria, indicted the elections itself. So even when the spokesperson for Bola Ahmed Tinubu and APC came out to debunk the position of European Union, I was unable to pick out any valid point, to say for this and this and this reason, European Union was wrong about this because this actually happened, this did not happen, all of that. All they kept on saying was that European Union was wrong to have come up with this report, European Union lied and all of that, but yet without really giving any reasons to debunk the submission of European Union. But before much ado, let us listen to some other part of this particular storyline, and we'll take it from there.
Expectedly, the respondent raised objections to the admissibility of the report.
The European Union observation mission, their final report was today tendered and admitted in evidence by the court. And you see that the witness who came from INEC, a director from INEC, read out the findings in that report, which clearly stated that the election fell below expectation and that only 31% of what was reported was mathematically accurate. So we think that this is a very good one.
Day 2 of the proceedings, President Bola Tinubu opened his defense in the petition filed by Atiku Abubakar and the People's Democratic Party, seeking to upturn the outcome of the February 2023 presidential election. President Bola
Well, I think we're having
in the petition opens his defense with it.
Yeah, I think we are struggling. The internet is struggling.
17 documents before the election court. The documents tendered are copies of letter from the United States Embassy to the Nigerian police dated 4th February 2003, as it has to do with the status of Tinubu's forfeiture case, which the petitioners have raised to argue that he was not qualified to stand for election. Also tendered was a bundle of Tinubu's academic records from Chicago State University, as well as Tinubu's immigration documents and United States visas. Tinubu also tendered copies of reports of the Committee on Location of the Federal Capital of Nigeria and of Form EC8D of Kano State in respect to the February 25, 2023 presidential election, and that of Form EC8DA. Apart from the educational and travel documents, the court further admitted a copy of the originating summons of a suit instituted at the Supreme Court by the Attorneys General of Adamawa State, Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, Delta, Edo, and Sokoto states against Tinubu. Also tendered was certified true copies of newspaper publications on several suits filed against the president by several groups. The Council for Atiku and the PDP objected to the admissibility of the documents, while Council for INEC and APC gave their consent for the documents to be tendered as exhibits before the court. Day 3 of the proceedings. The All Progressive Congress APC told the Presidential Election Petition Court that it will not participate in the whipping of dead horses, and it declined to open defense in the petition of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and its presidential candidate Abubakar Atiku, challenging the conduct and declaration of the February 25 presidential election. APC counsel Lateef Fagbemi said there was absolutely nothing to defend in the separate petitions of the Labour Party and the PDP. The senior lawyer came to the conclusion not to open defense in Atiku's petition after cross-examining the Senate Majority Leader Michael Bamidele, the star witness to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Fagbemi had subjected Senator Bamidele to rigorous questioning, during which the witness, who is a legal practitioner, admitted that Tinubu's election cannot be reversed on the strength of his forfeiture of $460,000 to the United States of America through the court order. The witness, while responding to Fagbemi's question, held that Tinubu was not arraigned, indicted or sentenced for any criminal charges by any American court, adding that civil forfeiture cannot take the place of criminal trial and conviction. Earlier, the Senate Majority Leader had told the Presidential Election Petition Court that President Bola Tinubu does not need to score 25% of vote cast in FCT to be declared winner of the February 25 election. The witness, who was cross-examined by counsel for Atiku and PDP, said although Abuja is the federal capital of Nigeria, it has no special status other than that. He agreed with the petitioner's counsel that President Tinubu scored 19.4% in total vote cast in the FCT. After the testimony of President Tinubu's sole witness, Wale Olanipekun SAN announced the closure of Tinubu's defense, while Lateef Fagbemi SAN announced for APC. Meanwhile, the court has given the respondents 10 days to file their final written addresses and the petitioner 7 days to respond and 5 days to reply on point of law. Presiding Justice of the Presidential Election Petition Court, Justice Haruna Samani, said that the parties will be communicated on the date for adoption of the final written addresses.
Whatever has a beginning must have an end. Today, the proceedings in terms of hearing of the petition filed by Waziri Atiku Abubakar and the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, against INEC, against Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and against the APC has come to an end. We were able to call, that is Atiku and PDP were able to call 27 witnesses, some of them expert witnesses, star witnesses, in proof of our case. We tendered a deluge of documents which were all admitted and marked as exhibits in spite of strenuous opposition by the respondents. On the other hand, the reverse side of the coin is that INEC, on whom the burden of holding elections should actually lie as to whether the elections were free and fair, called only one witness. Secondly, the second respondent, Tinubu himself, only called one witness, Senator Michael Bamidele Okpeyemi, who yesterday was elected as the majority leader of the Senate. As to the strength or weakness of his evidence, that will be left to the tribunal. But the important thing is that we did grill him through the furnace of the fire to show that the evidence he gave was not credible, and to show that the documents he tendered, particularly the report on the FCT, as a symbol of status and as a fountain of unity of the country, which they themselves tendered, was actually in favor of the petitioners. We were also able to elicit from the witness that Tinubu did not win in his own state, and that he was the only presidential candidate that did not win in his own state. All others won. Atiku won in his own state, Peter Obi won in his own state, and Kwakonso won in his own state. That he did not win there. We were also able to enlist from the witness that of all the presidential candidates since 1999, none except Tinubu was in a position that he did not score 25%. All of them scored 25% and over, except Tinubu, who had 90-point-something%. All these things were put in evidence today. I think we have run a good race.
Pharmacists.
Thank you so much.
Back in the day when we were in secondary school, when we were having a debate, we come to a point where we say, with this, I hope I've been able to convince my opponent that I have convinced him beyond reasonable doubt that this. What do you say, sir?
And let me just conclude. You then say, I leave that question for my opponent to answer. To be frank, Barrister Michael Zekome has said it all.
Yes.
Comandante, the problem is there is so much irregularity with the president now. There are so many questions yet unanswered. And that carries a whole lot of baggage. In law, you could look at it two ways. If you don't have evidence or you don't have anybody to bring, it means that you are very sure that what you did is right. Or it could also be that you don't have any evidence, you don't have anybody to bring, because you know that what you did cannot stand the test of time.
Or, just to add, or you are confident that the same thing that brought you, to that office will equally carry you through and over the justice system.
Given the Nigeria situation, yes. So those are the three possibilities, Comandante. Thanks for adding that to it. But the only thing is that I think the world indeed is changing, and Nigeria would have to change with it. Only today I was reading a newspaper. I'm not very sure if it's right, but I still need to say it. I'm not saying it's right that President Tinubu will become the next president of the African Union. So we could do all that just to placate things, but I don't think anything will make it really right. In the minds of the Nigerian people, they know what happened. They know what happened. But probably maybe President Bola Tinubu will go down in history as the shortest president in Nigeria history after 8 months. Because whether we like it or not, before September ending, latest October or just before Christmas, all will be sorted out. But the danger, Comandante, there is a danger in this. This will lead to a lot of stuff. If things are not done right, the impunity and bad leadership will continue. But if things are done right, that will be a reversal. So the next president coming in would have succeeded in changing half the minds of many Nigerians. Let me also shock you. I've said that we're going to talk about this today. Just look at what is happening to that young lady that falsified a JAMB result. And just before I came in, Comandante, this will touch you And indeed, our viewers, somebody put this in his status, and I want to read it. He said, getting the highest in jam is not served a la carte. You have to grab it, snatch it, and run away with it. And that Mesoma listened to the advice of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and that was why she did that. She grabbed it, she snatched it, and she's running away with it. That is what has become our Nigerian story. So if we don't get these politics and leadership right, we continue to remain in this. And the decision of the judges and justices at the end of this, if it goes to the Supreme Court, will play a very important role in what Nigeria would be going forward. I must commend the legal team of all of them, both the APC, the PDP, and the Labour Party. Well, let's see. No matter what the presentation is, even if you've done you've presented so well, it will be down to the judges to make their judgment. Whilst talking about this, I was inquisitive, and I spoke with a legal luminary to ask if this case, because we all know, Komelante, whether it goes in the favor of APC or PDP or Labour, they will also go to the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court is, in fact, it will favor Bola Ahmed Tinubu to go to the Supreme Court if the case against him, because that will help him to buy time and hold more time. But what that legal luminary told me is what I find very important. I don't know if you know already, or maybe our viewers know, that when you go to Supreme Court, they are not going to argue the cases anymore. Judgment will be based on the issue of law. So if there has been a law that has not been well interpreted, that is what the Supreme Court will look up to. So I am praying seriously that the better justice be done in this first round. Because if the justice is done in this first round, technicality and other issues will not hold sway in the Supreme Court. All we want is a better Nigeria, but the process to better Nigeria is very key. I think Ozokome's summation there was very, very apt, and there was serious indictment to the APC and indeed the INEC body.
First, let me quickly, correct I thought it was a little slip there. The appointment, or rather, or election, or whatever it is, of Bola Ahmed Tinubu that is intended is for ECOWAS and not AU.
Oh, okay.
And I like to see that it's not just about Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You understand what I'm saying? Now, whether under AU or ECOWAS or whatever it is, when it comes to international organizations like this, when the international position comes to the president of a nation like this, it's not about the individual there. It's about Nigeria. So if Bola Ahmed Tinubu is removed today, if he successfully becomes the ECOWAS leader, if he's removed today, automatically whoever becomes president, it is Nigeria's turn. Nigeria will still be occupying that position. So it's not about Bola Ahmed Tinubu and all of that. You understand what I'm saying? And so if we rise up to the occasion of becoming, producing the presidency of ECOWAS, it does not matter who is there. If that is zoned to Nigeria, it is to Nigeria. That's for that. I think I find it quite interesting, and I really want to equally re-emphasize that, that's where, judgment needs to overwhelmingly favor Peter Gregory Obi, our Nigerians, I would say that all of us is at the level of the appeal court currently. You understand what I'm saying? Now, when the laws at that level, they are interpreted correctly. For instance, I'm looking at three fronts. For instance, basically, I'm looking at Abuja and the interpretation of 25%. I know that Council to Bola Ahmed Tinubu has come to say that Abuja is part of Nigeria, cannot be separated and all of that. This is a matter of constitution. The constitution always knew that Abuja is part of Nigeria. But what we are talking about is that Abuja, even in the constitution, is not a state. This is the center, the capital city of Nigeria. It's not classed as a state like Edo State or Lagos State or this. So for the what's it called, the writers and those who ratify the constitution to leave that clause there to say that you must at least get 25% at the level of Abuja. You understand what I'm saying? They know what they are doing. So if that is interpreted correctly, the way we are looking at it therefore means that what's his name, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was not right to have been sworn in as president or giving certificate of return. That is one. The second aspect is that there's a body of evidence submitted by counsel to the Labour Party and of course to the PDP, telling the court and of course the world that Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not win the case. You understand what I'm saying? Now, all of that will be looked into. The reports too from the European Union will not be, swept aside because this is a reputable, organization brought in by the Nigerian government, to come and observe the elections. So their report cannot be swept aside. And for them to say that results were declared when only 31% of the vote cast, can be said to be authenticated. You understand what I'm saying? Now, that itself is a huge indictment. And let's not forget that in this same process, under this same cross-examinations, we came to find out that INEC declared results, knowing fully well that there were over, 18,000 blood result sheets that you cannot say, these are the content of this result sheet from the Form EC, 8, as it were. And all of that, and when people calculated and looked at the percentage of the 18,000 against the backdrop of the totality of the polling units, you understand what I'm saying? Now, all together in Nigeria, we found out that 18,000 polling unit result can actually alter the outcome of the election itself. That's on one side. Then on another point of technicality, which is a question, was Tinubu right, qualified to have contested this election? The issue of Tinubu having a case in the United States, has been argued by the counsel to Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the APC to say that it was not a criminal case, to say that it was not, and all of that. You are returning, by the act of law of the United States, 450,000 naira allegedly gotten, from criminality and all of that.
$450,000.
Yeah, and you people are coming out to say that, this one is just a small thing. You understand the picture of what I'm saying? So you will consider, though that one is a different strand, the equivalent amount right now is serving J10 in the UK, because of a tent. You understand what I'm saying? To hoodwink somebody to collect organ and all of that, which in itself another, a criminality. If he was not in the UK and was not arrested, people would argue all sort of things and all of that. You understand? When our young men in the streets, because they are doing yahoo, many of them are languishing in jail right now in Nigeria for yahoo that would not even pay them up to 1% of that 450,000 we are talking about and all of that. So these are issues. Then the issue of having dual nationality, lying under oath, these are issues, and it's difficult for some of us to sit down and look at this myriad of issues and believe that a court of competent jurisdiction, we take bribe, as it's been alleged at some quarters, or we condescend to align themselves to be used to issue judgment contrary to the will of the people. I think, without preempting the court, I think that, like you said earlier, you probably want to go and take a course in law and all of that and begin, yourself become a legal luminary. I honestly think that this case, given all that has happened, should favor Nigerians. And on the last note, when you yourself, of course, alluded to just now, that after everything, APC was only able to bring a witness, just one witness. And they was only able to bring one witness. And they were squeezed and drilled that they even faltered. They even, claimed under oath the position and positions of, the litigants, as it were. You understand what I'm saying? Of the counsel to APC and that of Labour Band. So at the end of the day, this is a matter that some people have looked at. As a matter of fact, somebody was telling me that at best, the court should call for cancellation of the election and ask for a rerun. And some are even saying that the court probably can look at the merit of what has been presented in evidence and ask that Bola Tinubu was not qualified to stand in this election. However, we are not preempting the court, but these are stories out there. We must talk about them because we can't shy away from them. These are things, out there. What I'm very careful about is not to speak based on what I wish I really want to, look at what the evidence are speaking to. And of course, when Michael Zekome was talking just now and all of that, you would understand that the onus now rests on the judges, to deliver judgment, based on the merit of, what has been presented by the lawyers. You understand what I'm saying now? I think that's where we are going to leave it, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much, Comrade Lamte. I think you've spoken very well. What we are trying to do today is just to put it down there for everybody to see. Viewers, friends of the Comrade Show, we've asked a very pertinent question. Will Tinubu be the first president to be thrown out by the courts? Only time indeed will tell. And myself and Comrade Lamte, we've talked about this without really trying to put so much on the proceedings now, but to talk about the evidences that you already know, or the things that are out there that we all know. It is our hope and prayer that the judges, when it comes to that time, will do justice, not to me, not to Comrade Lamte, not to APC, not to Labour Party, not to PDP, but indeed to Nigerians and Nigeria. Because, like Peter Gregory Obi said, a better Nigeria is possible. It's only possible when we begin to do things the right way. And like I said, whichever way this election goes, it will either make Nigeria go back or move Nigeria forward. People that served in Buhari's government, some will be regretting now why they were in office for actions they would have taken that would have moved our country forward. But for a country to grow, to rely on eyesight is not always the matter, which means it will say, I know, and for do I'm like this. Time is of importance because by then, indeed, we would have lost ground. We'll be coming your way again next Sunday. Maybe there will be more development and progress on this issue and the proceedings in court. But wherever you are, I encourage you, keep faith. Nigeria is a great country, and we will rise and become great again. Thank you so much for being part of today's program. Earlier on, just before we started talking about this issue, we had the CEO of Ebony Ambassador, who will be having a grand finale, the 8th edition of Miss Ebony Awards and Creativity Awards, coming up on the 29th of July, 2023 in the city of London. Please do well to get your ticket and be part of it. Even in the face of all our troubles and worries and politics, we still need to relax. And we have to also support our dear lady. We've kept faith with Nigeria. Nigeria is possible. Ebony Ambassador will just take the stress away from us. Please get your ticket. If you are struggling, go to Eventbrite or write to the Comrade Show and we shall direct you on how best to get your ticket. I will be there, Comrade Lamte will be there, and many other guests. We want to see you. Thank you so much for being part of this program. Comrade Lamte, just your final words before we close.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nigerians. Greetings to you all, and thanks for joining us. Please, if you can share the broadcast, share, and let's keep spreading the good news. And if you are willing to equally follow the Comrade Show, follow us on the Comrade Show. Follow us on TCS. Of course, we'll be coming your way again shortly. And I mean, lots of things are coming up. Those state local government elections coming up. We are going to be involved. Hopefully, from next week, we are going to start opening our own account on that. Those state governorship election 2024 is coming up. These are events that are going to shape the future for us. And we cannot stand aloof. We are going to be involved. I can tell you that of a fact. We are going to be looking at all of the things on the ground at the moment, at the level of Edo State and all of that, and our expectations. And just recently too, we're going to be looking at the issue, the problems that has enveloped empowering states to organize local government elections, because we are beginning to see too much political immoralities, particularly in the part of state governments, not managing the process very well. You understand what I'm saying? Where states where local governments, are not supposed to be in limbo. You just have a local government in the state for 4 years. Elections will not take place, and yet it will be like a business as usual. With all sorts of flimsy excuses and all of that. And so these are issues that we want to be looking at and all of that to help deepen our democracy, because so far there's a lot of work that we need to do. We are looking at the presidency right now, looking at all of these things. To be honest, holistically, our polity is dirty. It's gas, nothing to do only with Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the presidential election that took place on 25th of February. The entire political structure of the Nigerian state is in a huge mess. We have states in Nigeria right now where state governments just decide to hold on and not give participation to the local authority to participate in electoral processes and all of that. Just hold on to the resources of local government, hold on to local government elections, and they make it at their own will, at their own personal interest. I just said it's not exempt in this, and all. I'm able to say that, and I think that we need to start being searchlight, not just on the federal government, but what is happening at the state and at the local council level, and all of that. All of this put together, we help build our own democracy. But one thing is sure: we must all participate to get a better democracy. Whether we like it or not, whichever way Bola Tinubu's case turn, whether in favor of Bola Tinubu or against Bola Tinubu, I can tell you for sure that Peter Obi's presence in this race has helped to strengthen a bit of Nigerian democracy. And it's only going to get better because everybody is interested, whether for or against. Okay, the conversation is ongoing and we'll keep it alive. So stay with the Comrade Show. We are a political unit and we are part of this process because we are all political animals. God bless you. God bless Nigeria, and God bless every Nigerian alive today. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Comrade, the man that knows it all. I asked for your final statement and you gave me your final paragraph. But every time with you, it's always great. You're trying to whet the appetite of our teaming viewers to let them know that there are issues that we'll be discussing in the weeks and months ahead. Thank you so much, Comrade, for sparing your time. Thank you so much for what you do for this community. Thank you so much for what you do for our great country, Nigeria, and I dare say Africa by extension. Our viewers, for being with us today, we are indeed very grateful. Keep a date with us, hopefully next week when we'll come your way again. Remain useful and good. And remember, a new Nigeria is indeed possible. Bye for now.
Comrade Show, Comrade Lante Oriake. This is the Comrade Show.